Today we are reviewing my speed shoe for 2024, the Adidas Adizero Takumi Sen 8. I'm just going to refer to it as the Takumi Sen 8 from now on. So let's do my update review of this shoe. I've done an initial run in it, and today is the update version of that. I'm going to give you my scores, opinions, and all the major parts of the shoe, and tell you how it's been getting on with me and my training for this year. Let's get on with it. So welcome back to the channel. Regular viewers will know that I said this year I've got specific shoes for specific purposes this year as part of my running training. I'm upping it, I'm doing far more mileage, far more intensity, and it's becoming far more specific and focused. So this is the turn of the speed shoe. Again, I'll tag the playlist there. I've done all the other shoes on that, so my initial runs in all the other types of shoes, and I've done the update vlogs for my recovery easy day shoe, my long run shoe, and my daily trainer. Now is the turn of the speed shoe. This is used predominantly for my speed workouts, intervals, fast work, PB attempts. And I've got one more shoe left, which is the kind of race day shoe, which I've not really hit the mileage on that yet. I will get some more miles in that and then do an update on that one. So today's the turn of the Takumi Sen 8. So yeah, stats and facts. This is a £170 RRP shoe. I picked it up for a discount. I could do it for all my shoes. I never really pay retail for any of my shoes. So £170 RRP. I picked it up for £90 on a Black Friday deal. It's currently selling for even less than that. I think it's on for 85. Currently on Sturt Fitness. If you wish to go and grab one. Weight 220 grams or 7.8 ounces. So feather light. It's technically a plated shoe. It's got these nylon rods. So it's not a carbon plated shoe, but it has got nylon rods, which gives you that extra spring back. It's got a 6mm drop, so 33mm in the heel and 27 in the forefoot. And if you forget, it's actually on the midsole printed in, so 33mm in the heel, 27 in the forefoot. And for me, it fits slightly long. I grabbed a UK size 11, which is my usual size for all my running shoes. But with it being a racer and the fact it runs a tiny bit long, I would personally get, next time I get them, would get a half size down, so 10.5 was what I would grab. So as always, I always start with the outsole, kind of one of the most important parts of the shoe, and I'll work my way up. So yeah, outsole is the, as known, most people know, it's a continental rubber, so really grippy, basically used on car tyres. So if you can use it on a car tyre, it keeps the car moving forwards. I'm pretty sure it's good enough for feet. So yeah, continental rubber, not a lot of it, just quite a patch here, obviously perforated patch here on the inside of the forefoot, and then this very kind of sandpapery strip all down the lateral side of the shoe. And then another white kind of sandpapery bit, or just around the kind of a horseshoe around the heel. But them two bits are basically like sandpaper, wafer thin. A bit more significant portion on this pink section here. But yeah, super grippy. I've used it in literally all conditions, and it's kind of a surprisingly grippy in the wet. So when you get like maybe a bit of foot slippage in the wet conditions, especially on kind of smooth roads, this just not a patch on anything in terms of it doesn't miss a beat, just unbelievably grippy in all conditions. Like I said, just enough rubber on the outsole to protect the midsole, and not too much. But yeah, so super grippy. I can't really fault the outsole whatsoever. And again, these cutaways just obviously keep the weight down as well. So 9.5 for the outsole. I said I've got no real complaints about it. It does everything I've wanted to do. Super grippy, especially when you're trying to move quickly, which is what this shoe is designed for. The last thing you want is lose a bit of confidence in the grip on the shoe. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for the outsole. Moving on to the midsole, and this is probably the whole singing or dancing part of the shoe. Like I said, good stack amount, 33mm, 27mm in the forefoot. So, and for me, everyone's got their own preferences, but that's kind of that almost perfect window. I think as soon as you get below 20mm in the forefoot, it can sometimes feel a little bit low. I know some people like lower stack shoes, kind of minimalistic shoes for speed work. I'm quite a tall runner, I'm quite a heavy runner. I'm 85, 87 kilos around that window, 12, 13 stone nearly. So I'm not a light runner, so more stack for me and more foam is often beneficial. I'm not a massive fan of ground feel anyway. But yeah, so the stack 33-27 with a 6mm drop, that is probably what I would pick as my almost perfect kind of level of shoe in terms of drop and stack height. But yeah, the midsole, it's I can't really sing its praises. Anyone that's, obviously this isn't a new shoe, I'm kind of late to the party. I only grabbed this because it was on massive discount. I don't generally pay a lot of money for my shoes. I don't like paying, like I say, for the RRP for this. I would never go and pay that for this shoe, no matter how good it is. So I waited for the 9 to come out, and obviously the 10's come out, and I picked this up on discount, hence why it's still on discount now. So yeah, midsole, responsive, propulsive, really fun to run in, protects the legs, it saves you some energy in terms of that gait cycle, and obviously the pop it gives you, it helps you to expend less energy. Really bouncy, like I said, really enjoyable to run in. Makes those hard, intensive workouts that you do far more enjoyable and far less draining on you and your legs. So I'm going to give it, again, 9.5 out of 10. It can't be faulted in terms of it doesn't seem to die. It keeps bouncing you along the pavement. Like I said, really great pop in terms of when you get, especially when you start pushing on those higher end speeds. So when you get to like that 1K, 3K, 1 mile kind of hard effort pace, or even shorter intervals than that, like 400 meter intervals or 200 meter intervals, when you're really giving it all the effort, the more you put into it, it's one of them foams, it gives you far more back out. So like I said, I didn't mention full Light Strike Pro. I nearly bought the Adios 7, which was a strip of Light Strike Pro and then just Light Strike underneath it. But yeah, full Light Strike Pro from heel to toe, one big solid chunk of it. And like I said, the more you put into it, the more it gives you back. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10 for the midsole. Moving on to the upper, it's probably one of the weaker parts of the shoe. So breathability, brilliant. Like I said, it's literally almost, it is basically see-through. If you wear kind of brightly coloured socks, you will see them. I don't know if you can see my fingers through there. It's cellular mesh, super thin. It feels pretty robust. It's almost like, say, like a plasticky, it used to more like a fabric kind of or mesh upper. This will be a bit of a change from that. It was a bit of a change for me, but the race day shoes generally are this cellular mesh, a bit lighter, a bit better for kind of sweat absorption in terms of it doesn't, and obviously super breathable. Like I said, the plasticky feel, it just lets the air come flying through. Major downside is the laces. They're not the greatest. They almost feel like they devalue the shoe a little bit. Bog standard, just kind of cheap feeling and cheap looking laces. They stay tied though. They're not at all stretchy or springy to help you get a bit of a lockdown. Heel counter, non-existent. Again, it's a race day shoe, so there's literally nothing there for support. So if you're looking for a supportive shoe, this isn't it, especially with that kind of massive cutout as well on the outsole / midsole. Your foot, if you've not got a good decent foot strike and you need a stability shoe, this isn't the one for you. But yeah, upper, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. Breathability is great. Lockdown, it can be got. It's not easy to get your foot in this shoe. Again, with it being cellular, it's not particularly forgiving. You've got to really loosen the laces right off, open it as wide as you possibly can to get your foot in, and then with the laces again, it's not the easiest to get a decent lockdown. Tongue, non-existent in terms of padding, but again, it's pitched as a race day shoe. It is gusseted. It's basically just sewn in on the lateral side and then sewn in a little bit further down on the medial side. But again, it's a race day shoe. I'm not looking to be plush or comfortable or like protective, because it's not what it's aimed. This shoe isn't aimed for that. It's aimed to be getting you on your toes, getting you moving quickly. And again, you have a price to pay for a lightweightness of the shoe, and that is in the upper. They've literally made it as minimalistic as possible, but it does a job. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for the upper. Okay, rolling into value now. So again, I picked this up for £90, but I always have to give my opinion in terms of my scores for value. It has to be based on the RRP. £170. Now, it is an unbelievable shoe. The first time I ran in it, I basically just went out for a test run. I think I did a couple of K warm up, did a 5K kind of blast effort, and then a couple of K cool down, and I cruised in this shoe. My first ever run in it, just stuck it out fresh out the box, stuck it on my feet. And then my first ever run, I declared it unashamedly the best shoe I ever ran in, and I cruised to I think it was like a couple of seconds, 6-second PB in the 5K without really ever trying. So yeah, it is the best shoe I've ran in. The Puma DV8 Nitro Elite, which I've got to get some more miles in before I give that update review, that's close second in terms of it's exactly the same RRP, 170, but this I would argue is probably the best shoe I have ever run in. But for value in terms of £170, it does do a lot. It's great fun to run. It's the most fun shoe I've ran in ever, but it is a high price to pay. £170, I would never pay that. For it to be that price, I don't know what I'd have to do. I'd have to probably have roller skates on the bottom and make me go even quicker, which obviously is obviously a joke. But yeah, for £170, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It is a fantastic shoe, my best shoe I've ever ran in. Perfect for what it's, again, it's technically a racer. Like I said, I nearly picked up the Adidas 7 as a speedwork shoe, but I decided to pay that a little bit extra because this was on such a discount. There wasn't a very negligible amount. So this is a much better shoe than the Adidas range, with it being the Takumi Sen range. But yeah, for £170, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Really good shoe, really great for speed work, really propulsive. Like I said, perfect for 5-10K races. but it is quite a high price to pay, and I'm kind of averse to paying such high prices for running shoes. So yeah, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Perfect speed day shoe, but not a great all-rounder, which again, it's not meant to be that, but I can't really give it a higher score with it being such a high price. And finally, just to wrap up the durability score, again, this is a prediction. I've never owned a Takumi before. Again, drop in the comments if you've owned one of the previous Takumi Sens or current Takumi Sen, any Takumi Sen. What kind of mileage you get out of it before you're needing to retire it? Actually, I'm predominantly using it just for speed work, so intervals, speed sessions, maybe hill reps, and then obviously short or faster work, so 5Ks, 10Ks, real hard efforts, like that kind of stuff. So I'm using it just for what it's kind of meant to be used for. I'm not wasting mileage on like easy recovery runs or like steady state runs, etc. I'm assuming, again, rubber's not really going to go anywhere. It will wear down gradually, but with it being continental rubber, I'm assuming it's going to get a fairly long life in terms of the rubber wear. The midsole, it is responsive and propulsive and quite squishy and soft, but it doesn't feel like it's going to bottom out and die on me anytime soon. And again, a lot of the other reviews I've seen for various different shoes in the Adidas range, any of them that have got Light Strike Pro don't tend to die particularly quickly compared to some of the other brands. The upper maybe is the one that worries me, but probably might go first with maybe wear and tear. But yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for durability. I'm going to guess it's going to get to my normal window of say 300-400 miles, 500-600k. I'm hoping it'll get to around that window. If not, it's not the end of the world, but with it being a higher price, I would hope to get it a decent amount of mileage in it, because again, yes, you pay the higher price for the higher performance, but I need it to last a decent amount of time as well. Otherwise, for me, again, the value deteriorates if it's quite a short lifespan for the shoe. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for durability. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've owned a Takumi Sen and got what kind of mileage you've got. I'd be interested to see how long it lasted for you guys. And yeah, let's just wrap it up there. So yeah, total scores, I give it a 43.5 out of 50 for all the 5 categories, which is 87%. I think that's probably one of the highest rated, highest scored shoes I've had in a long time, which matches up with the fact that it probably is the best shoe I've ever run in. Again, I've not got a massively expansive previous history of shoes, but over the last couple of years I've kind of branched out into new brands, new types of shoes, and better quality shoes gradually. So as I'm progressing through the years now, my shoe quality is getting better. I did a load of budget shoes last year. Again, I'll tag that playlist there. But yeah, they were the budget version of last year. This year I've kind of decided to splash out a little bit, get a better quality of shoe. But yeah, so perfect. Again, if I had to recommend it, I would highly recommend this as a speed day shoe, maybe a 5K, 10K racer. If you're new or experienced and you want to take your speed work stuff to a bit more of a better level in terms of I was running in like a budget ASICS last year and I could get up to speed, but it was all down to me. This just helps you propel you into another level in terms of a bit quicker, makes the workouts feel a little bit better, and you can get up to speed and help your legs recover that a little bit quicker with the Light Strike Pro protecting your legs. But yeah, so that's 4 down now. I've got 1 left to do. The Puma Deviate Nitro Elite, which is my race day shoe, kind of mainly for half and marathons this year. I'm not really doing any half marathon races, so I've held that back a little bit, but I'll get some more mileage into that, and then I'll do an update vlog on that as well. Again, I'll continue to do updates with these all 5 shoes as I progress through the year, so as I get a few more miles in it, I'll come back on and do another update, and maybe amend the scores if something's changed, if the durability suddenly takes a nosedive and 1 or 2 of them start to wear out pretty particularly quickly, then obviously I'll come back on and do an update. But yeah, I'll wrap it up there. As always, thank you for watching. Drop in the comments any questions or queries, and I'll see you all on the next one.